This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome for joining us on the Fully Managed podcast. Thank you, Dan, for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, yeah, excited to be here.
Beautiful. Okay, perfect. So today we're going to start with a game, as we do. Get our creative juices flowing, have some fun. These are going to be rapid fire Philly questions. You are very familiar with Philly. You've done a lot for the city. I'm excited to know your favorite parts. I love this game selfishly because I get recommendations for places to go. So that's really why I like the game. But are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
You got Gritty running around in your head right now.
Yeah.
You ready for him to give you some answers?
Yes, 100%.
All right. Perfect. Okay. What is the first word you think of when you hear Philadelphia?
History.
I like that one. I usually get, Rocky or, the history. There's a lot of history here. It's beautiful. Yeah. What celebrity do you think of when you think of Philadelphia?
I'm going to say, you said Rocky and
I know, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have fed you that.
I'm not thinking of him. So for me, and it's probably because I'm watching the new show he's on, I'm going to say Kevin Bacon.
Ooh, yeah. I like that. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite cheesesteak spot?
So, I'm a vegetarian. However, pre-vegetarian, I did a cheesesteak challenge where I went to Tony Luke's, Gino's, Pat's, and Jim's on South Street. We tried all of them in one day.
That's crazy.
Which was really good. Yeah, it was really fun. But I would say out of those ones, it was Tony Luke's was my favorite. Jim's was a close second.
Interesting. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy it wasn't Patricino. Sorry.
No, they were the worst. They were horrible.
Yeah, I know.
Anyone who's from the area knows that those two are shit. Like
I'm not even from the area, and I know. Like if I'm trashed and I'm in that area, I'll get one. Like I'm not getting Gino's though. I'm sorry. I a sin to even go there. But I will get Pat's, and I'll probably enjoy it. But that's when I'm drunk and desperate for food.
Yes.
And to them, they are historical landmarks, and that is a good thing to have. Tourists are important. All right. What is one small business that you frequent the most?
Ooh, small business I frequent the most. I would say Hip City Veg because I love Hip City Veg. Nicole Marquise is amazing. I would say Hip City Veg. I
really like Hip City Veg. I'm happy that there's I love when there's a healthier option. There's so much bar food in Philly, which is great and lovely and tasty for sure. But I feel awful after eating there. Yeah. So it's nice to have good. Yeah. But okay. What is your favorite place for a drink or a meal? Now you pick a different one.
Favorite place for a drink or a meal? Well, my favorite place closed, sadly. I used to love going to Jones on right in Old City. That was a really cool spot. It doesn't exist anymore. It closed during COVID, which sucks. Now I would say my new favorite place is Monster Vegan, I think it's called.
Vegan.
Blanking on the name now, which is super sad, but it's amazing. It's super cool.
Things are being written down.
Yeah. It's gonna. I'm really pissed about messing up the name, but I'm pretty sure it's Monster Vegan. It's really good.
I'll find it. I'm good at that. Yeah. But yeah, no. My favorite place also closed in Philly. Have you ever been to Bing Bing Dim Sum in South Philly?
No, but I heard about it. But I've never.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Gone forever. It really sucks when that happens. So I completely resonate with your feelings of sadness.
Yes.
If you were to change something about Philly, what would it be?
This might get philosophical. So this was part when we talked about the BPHL Innovation Fest, which I'm sure we'll talk about. My whole goal for that was to have people view Philly in a different way, because I feel that Philadelphia gets forgotten about because we have New York and Boston and DC and there's Chicago, like, and Philly's in there. And I think people forget about it. So what I would change about Philly is, yes, Philly is built on a blue collar culture for sure. And that's amazing. But I would change that. Like, I think that that's what a lot of people think Philly is only that. And I would love to see Philly step up and be more of that. Like, we're blue collar. It's tough. It's a gritty city, but there's also that innovation that's happening here. There's students, there's healthcare, there's so many different cool things. I would love to change. Like, love more startups to come here and then stay here. That's what I would really love to change.
Okay, well, instead of my last question is silly. So how about we get into that, because I was going to ask you about that anyway, because I think it's very, very cool. So you talked about your inspiration for that, but what are you trying to showcase during this time? Like, what are your goals for this project? And also, like, how do you get people involved? What's like the marketing surrounding it? Like, how is everything going with this?
Like, so the festival, it's a weird thing. So I think the festival's on a hiatus, honestly. So what happened was, it was at Independence Blue Cross, and that it was owned by them. I worked there, all that. And then it ended up being transferred to another organization. So they actually own it. So I actually don't even do anything with the festival anymore.
Oh, darn.
It kind of parted ways. It was kind of like, and this is going to sound super sad, but like, it was kind of like raising a child for 3 years.
And then
like,
giving them away.
And then giving it away, but like, you didn't necessarily want to give it away. Like, it was, it was really, really sad for sure. And that was, it was seriously like my kid. Like, it was created out of nothing, and then it was given away to somebody else. So it's really sad about it.
Is it on a hiatus because they're not doing anything with it?
I don't know. They did it for a couple years. I don't know what's happening with it now. Like I said, I completely, like, I was not in the best mental state when it was given away, and all that. There was a bunch of things happening. Like, it was part of COVID, or it was during COVID, but it was towards the tail end of it. It was given away, and I was not in the greatest mental state. So I literally just like,
any of us were.
Yeah. I guys, and I was like, here you go. But yeah, so I'm not sure what's happening with it anymore, which is really sad, because it was a lot of work, and it was a really cool thing to happen.
It was really cool.
And a lot of amazing things happened from it. But yeah, it's somebody else's now. Somebody else is raising my child.
Okay, well, like on a brighter note, I suppose, because that sucks. Oh my God. Well, tell me about the great things that came from it when you had your child.
Yeah. So I thought it was great. So because of the festival, I was named Philadelphia Business Journal 40 to 40, which I never thought would ever happen. Like,
That's awesome.
It was super cool when that occurred. I was really, really shocked. And then I think that, like, a lot of the connections that happened from it, like, again, the goal was to, and this is part of why I think Philly's so cool, and why there's so many, my answer was to change about the perspective of Philly, because it was really bringing, like, musicians and doctors and engineers and artists and all that together into one space. And I thought that was something super, unique, because, again, I think a part of a lot of Philly too is that, like, we say, like, we're eds and meds in Philly, eds and meds, and then there's the blue collar, obviously. But I think when you start to blend a lot of those things together, and you take inspiration from arts, and engineering takes inspiration from music and things like that, and they combine together, I think that's when you create the best ideas and the best innovations. And that's how people and a city and organizations, etc., grow. And that's what I really loved when, we're walking around the city and seeing the festival happening. It was like just a blend of people that you wouldn't necessarily see normally in a room together. And that's really what I loved. And I'm hoping that there are things that occurred from that where people met for the first time. I remember being in the elevator the very first year, and I was talking to these two people, and I thought they were best friends. Like, they didn't know who I was, which was cool. And we were just talking. And then they found out that somehow someone called my name, and they're like, wait, you're the one that made this. And I was like, oh yeah, it's fun, etc. And they're like, we never knew each other before today, and we met, and we've gone to every session together. And I was like, that is the coolest thing to me. That's the goal. Like, that was so exciting to hear. And I hope that those relationships have lasted since that occurred. So yeah, it was awesome for that. And I hope that those things continue on.
That is so beautiful. I really love, like, one of my favorite things about Philadelphia that I think is just kind of like a feeling is, like, the sense of community. Like, a lot of people talk about the brotherly love and whatever. And I think that we've, like, taken that back, because I think the foundation of brotherly love is, like, a whole farce historically. We don't have to get into that. But but there is like this sense of community in Philly. I feel like that I don't feel like. It almost feels like the energy of like a small town, even though it's a city. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like people just understand that, and I love that there's so many things that I just keep finding out about that like foster this sense of community, and that is like a perfect example. Like learning about Philadelphia Culture Works, which I hope you're and that was something that was like so cool to me because I was like, yes, like let's bring more and more people together because there's so much like goodness in this city that like people need to get connected with, and like those and all of those people that are involved in those different organizations or businesses or whatever it may be. I like it's so awesome to get them together because even though if they're wildly different, I feel like they can create like collaboration creates the best things, and I truly 100% agree with your sentiment with that.
Oh yeah, with that, and I think also like a thing in Philly that might be different, and it should be different is that like I think a lot of people view things as competition, like we're in a competition against each other. I think if you remove some of those things and you're just like, let's collaborate, to your point, that's when some of these great things will occur. And I think some other cities have done a really great job at it. I think Philly is, but I think there's more levels to get to in order to create some more of that. But it's on its way, I think.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Philadelphia is definitely we're adjusting. We're getting to a point where I think like people are truly appreciating the city more. I think like social media has really helped with that truly. Like people are finally noticing that like the restaurant scene here is really great, and like people I don't remember anyone ever saying anything about it like 8 years ago when I got here. Like no one cared at all. Like social media has definitely helped like especially uplift like small businesses. Like I don't get any ads for like a chain or whatever it may be. Like I get ads for small businesses in Philly, and Philadelphia is chock full of them. And it's wonderful to see that and like see an uptick in that. I mean, like, you know, maybe I'm like gatekeeping a little bit, like maybe people should stop coming here. But also, you know, I'm someone that came here, so I'm happy that I'm accepted. So I hope that you know, I you know, the pessimist in me is like, there's gonna be so many people here. But also it's a lovely place, so
100%. There's space for other people.
Yeah, exactly. There's space. I'll let them come. Like, I'm not really here to gatekeep anyway. I am also someone that has moved here. So I don't have a place to even say that they can't anyway. But yeah, so okay, so I love geeking out over Philly, but I also want to talk about you a little more. So so Posey Productions. This has videography and storytelling that have influenced like your approach to marketing, because you have an extremely long marketing career. I want to know how you got into production, because like it seems like you have a very streamlined marketing career, like experience with digital marketing, which makes sense why this would be something that you'd go into, but also it feels like maybe I'm misspeaking here, but like an overzealous pursuit, maybe like you're like something that would be like scary to do, having like a very like traditional streamlined marketing experience. So I'm so curious about that.
So like my career and whatnot has not been like linear. Like it's been all over the place. Like even when we're talking about the festival, I just view, if I want to try something, I want to do something, I'm just like, all right, let's try it. And I take experiences from other things and correlate it to whatever that thing is. So like talking about the festival, I never did a festival before. I never worked for a company that did that. Like it was just, I'd done this event, I'd done this tour, I'd thought about this. All right, we're going to combine all those things together and make a festival. So like thinking about the videography and photography standpoint, it was really, I was working at different companies. I was working at Spencer's, the store that's in the mall. And so I used to run all their social media content and creation, all that stuff, and their in-store music. And I was like, well, we really need to do video and whatnot in order to get seen more on social. So I just was like, all right, let's figure it out. And I just started to do it. And then based on figuring it out, that grew into, okay, well, maybe I want to do this stuff for myself. And then I did like a wedding, and then I did this video, and then I did that video, and then it's just grown to what it is. It really started like filming my daughter. Like she was born and I was like, oh, I want to make videos of her. And I just treated it as if it was like a movie kind of thing where I was like, oh, let's pan, let's do this, let's do that. And it just grew from there. And I was so against doing photography, which is so funny. I was like, no, we're only going to be video. That's all we're going to do. And now I do more photo work than I do video work after I started it. And yeah, it just kind of grew to be all the things. Like we did a commercial last year, or 2023, end of 2023 for Cintas, like the huge, uniform company. We've done other projects for small businesses. We do sports. Like it's all over the place. And it's just kind of, from a marketing side, like I didn't go to school for marketing either. Like it's really just figuring those things out and learning it and correlating things together in order to create whatever I'm trying to do. So I get very scared and I'm very anxious about things for sure. But I think part of that like OCD and fear has created like, all right, well, I need to be really good at this. So I got to learn everything I possibly can. And we're going to do it. And we're going to correlate and we're going to figure it out. And we're going to move on to the next thing. And that's just how I treat everything, honestly.
Yeah, no, a lot of what you said, like, I really resonate with, because I think that marketing is such a fun world in the way of like, there are so many different voices here that whereas like a more streamlined professional opinion would maybe not have, like there's so many influences that marketing professionals have that I find very different from other fields.
Yeah, but I think you said something that's really, to me, very important and key into marketing. I think when marketing is not fun, when you're not having fun, you're not doing things that are interesting, that's when marketing sucks. And that's when you could see your brand fall apart. And I think that like you have to have fun with it, but you also, a part of the reason why I do like marketing, and I love thinking strategically and coming up with content and all that stuff, but I do love it because you need to have people in a room. Like accounting, you could be by yourself and you could do your numbers and you're cool. But like for marketing, I really do think when you're collaborating with people and you're coming up with different perspectives, you have people from different areas, different backgrounds, etc., you can come up with the coolest things, and then you can figure out like, all right, how does this work for the brand? And I just think that's so much fun. But your point about being fun, if it's not fun, then your marketing will suck and your brand will suffer. And that is a really key element to that, because I think a lot of brands lose that and they view marketing as like the same as like an accountant or a finance or whatever it is. Like, no, you need to have fun. You need to let the creative juices just flow.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that has so much room for innovation constantly, because it's always changing. People always have to stay up to date on new trends and different things like that.
100%.
And I also think that there's like a balance of that too, because you can stay updated on trends and constantly fall into the trap of like being trendy and then just be, horrible at your marketing campaigns because they don't make sense for you. Like,
yes. But again, that's also a good thing about marketing too, though, is that like, and I think organizations do this too. You have to fail. Like you have to fail it. So you have to try things in marketing. You have to fail in order to learn the next thing and try something again and optimize it, etc. And I think that, again, these are failing and being collaborative and being creative is all key parts of being good at marketing as a business and a person. And I when those are lost, it always sucks. So like, I'm glad that you're mentioning those things because they are so important to being good at it, for sure.
Yeah, it's also one of those fields that like there's room for failure because it's like almost expected. Like, if that makes sense. Like,
100%.
You can have a great campaign, like on paper, like it works for so many other people. There's evidence of it, all these things. But it just doesn't work. I mean, like you sometimes don't like. You just have to figure out why, and then like navigate around that, and like and work towards doing like a different thing. But I love that it's like this consistent trial and error of like experiments and like trying new innovative ways of figuring something out or how to do something. And it's so cool because it's like this middle ground of creativity and also like scientific, I guess, or those kind of brains where like they both feed into each other.
Yeah, a blend of creativity and data, honestly, is what it is. Yeah.
And it's like, it's fun to have something that's like factual on paper sometimes, but then also something that really needs a creative mind to like mold it into something that like is useful.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very cool. So yeah, I love to nerd out on the marketing, the idea of marketing and all. But so, well, then I'm curious, do you have like a favorite like campaign that you've done for Posey Productions that like kind of stands out for you? Maybe something that you think was like super innovative, like something that you were kind of scared to try, or I don't know, maybe something that was surprising that worked out really well.
Everything. No, it's everything. So I mean, the Cintas, from a cool campaign standpoint, the Cintas campaign was really cool because it was they're talking about employees that had different disabilities. There were some that were deaf. There were some that one person was blind. Another person had a learning disability. So it was really cool to tell those stories because, again, like, I truly believe that everyone has a story to tell, and it hit right into what we do. So that was really cool, but it was, an interview and then just videos. I think when we ventured into the world of short films a few years ago, and our big thing was, like, my partner Alec and I, we were like, all right, well, let's do one takes. Like, we're just going to write a whole thing. We're just going to follow. And that was one of the most difficult things to do. And anyone who's done video is like, oh my God, yes, that is like it's hard. There's a show right now on Netflix called Adolescence that is just one shot. And it is,
I didn't know that.
Oh my God, it blew my mind. Every episode is an hour of just one take. And I was watching it like, this is my dream. Like, it's so hard to do it. And I think that was
horrible.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But like, for us, that's what we learned a lot from it. Like, I literally just finished a shoot with Cinnaminson, all Cinnaminson Sports, Cinnaminson, New Jersey, and we're doing a hype video for them. And I think, like, doing things that are outside of your comfort zone and trying something is really what gets us to do something, to learn, to be like, all right, this is what we're gonna do for next thing. And I think that's what we do every single time, is we really try to say, all right, well, this is what we're gonna do normally. What's something we haven't done before? All right, let's add that element into this so that we can try something new. And I think we do that with all our projects. But I would say the short films really pushed us to learn some things. And that Cintas project was probably the coolest because it was fun to tell everyone's story. And also to have someone signing and, like, have to film that in a way where you can see their hands at every moment, telling a story. Like, it was really, really cool to be able to do that project. I loved working with them. They were great.
It also must be really incredible to be able to navigate around certain, like, disabilities to be able to, like, do it in the future, because I think there's so many people that don't have any kind of experience with that. And, like, it's not their fault. I mean, like, you might just not come in contact with it, but it's, like, lovely to have that experience to be able to do it for others, because there's probably so many people that don't have experience with that and therefore can't account for it.
Yeah. I mean, and we had to be really intentional because I wanted to tell their stories in a way that was impactful for them. And I think, like, when you're talking like this and you're shooting something, you can make cuts and adjust things, but when you're signing, you can't. It's just like they have to finish their sentence. So it was very interesting to learn that and to be able to, like, when writing the whole thing, like, be thoughtful in, like, all right, how do we want this person to be perceived, like, with their job, the difficulties with their job, what they do in a day-to-day, what having a job means to them. That was a really big thing because a lot of people won't hire people like that. So it was like, it was really amazing to be able to go through that whole process with them. And again, tell their stories. It was really great and really humbling. I absolutely loved doing that. It was really, really cool.
That is really incredible. Yeah, I do think that having experiences in new spaces are, like, wonderful to be able to learn in, even if it's sometimes scary in the beginning, because everyone's a little scared when they have lack of experience in something, but, like, that's literally how you gain experience.
Yes, you have to be. If you're not necessarily, like, scared or nervous or something like that, then you already know too much and you should be trying something new. Like, I think that I coach my daughter's soccer team. And they're 6 and 7, and I tell them that all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, this is easy." I'm like, "All right, that's easy. Now we're gonna do that." You shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't. If you think something's easy, then you need to learn more. So let's start to progress, and that's the way I think about everything. Till the day I die, it'll be let's learn something new.
Scary soccer coach.
Yeah.
I was 7 and 8. I would be mad at you.
Let's do something. Yeah.
No, but I think that's a great mentality to have, because I truly think that if you have that, you're going to continue to grow. And I think there's people that, like, are comfortable in their space, and, like, that's fine. Like, if but I think that the best people, especially in the marketing space, are people that are constantly learning and constantly growing, because it's, like, it's impossible to be successful and stay, like, stagnant in this field. Like, it's something that's ever changing. Like, if you did, like, for example, AI, like, if you don't get involved in that at all or don't understand it, you're going to be left behind. Like, and it sucks that technological advancements come up and you have to do them, but
you have to. Yeah, you can't, like, Blockbuster's the best example of that. Like, they were too late to the game and they're not existent anymore. And I always, it's such a basic example that everybody knows, but it's such a key story to why you have to innovate and you have to think about what's next. You can't stay where you are. You have to be thinking about what's going to happen next so that you can iterate and you can innovate and you can change and you can grow. And that's as a person and a company. It's for everything.
I think there's also something about the Blockbuster story specifically that always bugged me was the idea that like physical media is coming back now. And it's like very strange that they had like that gap of time. Like it was very inconvenient, I feel like, for the company, of course. But I do agree. A lot of people have the argument of like, well, why weren't you like the Netflix of like you could have easily advanced to like delivery and then you could have become like a streaming service and we could have had Blockbuster instead of Netflix or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I think that it's also about like how you spin something, because I think that if I had the foresight of knowing that some of my favorite movies or shows would be lost in the abyss because they're not owned by a streaming service, Blockbuster would still exist. Like if they could foresee that problem in the future, they could probably still be exactly what they were back then if they were just able to like advertise that or market for that specific type of person that like likes to form attachments to maybe physical things, or that they want to be able to have access to like these things that they remember from their childhood that literally they cannot see anymore because they don't exist on a streaming service.
It's true. I mean, it's all about how you spin something. Like the iPod was 1,000 songs in your pocket. It wasn't a gigabyte of storage. It was 1,000 songs.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
It all depends on how you spin, things in your marketing. But again, they didn't think about those things, and now they're gone.
Well, so you actually mentioned something earlier that I thought was kind of interesting. You said that you planned on doing a lot more video and that you didn't want to do as many like photos. I'm wondering, what do you think that these showcase differently? Like why would a campaign you would specifically do only photography for, whereas you would choose to do a different one that was be video?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, to be honest, I thought there were so many photographers in the world. I was like, why, like, what's the difference between me and someone else that's doing this? And I just liked telling someone's story through video. But I will say then I was more thinking about organic things. Like I liked filming something where, we were just letting someone go and we were filming their story and we were telling the pieces of it and all those things. I didn't think of photography as being something I was ever going to do. I think it's great to have both lenses because you think about things in different ways. Like the way I think about setting up a photo shoot is completely different than the way I'll set up a video shoot. And then when you're doing them together, like for a client, you're like, all right, well, we're doing both of these things. It's a whole different science about like, how are we going to set this up? What are the pieces of content we want to capture for an ad for, in a photo setting, and how do we want that to look versus how it's going to look in a video? So I think that it was just something that like I just didn't think that what I would offer would be anything different than anyone else. And then it wasn't until I started to do some things that I was like, all right, I think I can find my way in this. And now I love doing photos. Like I said, I do majority now, for the things that we do, but like, I don't know, you get to play with colors and it's like a moment frozen in time. You get to add things to it and change it. And I don't know, I just think it's really, really cool. But again, if you asked me 4 years ago if I'd be doing photos, I'd be like, nope. Like, it's like not going to happen. But it changed the whole way my business runs and the way I operate in my, working for companies. It just changed literally everything by just learning that one skill and then getting better at it.
Yeah, no, I can definitely understand that. I think that, I would probably, if that was the same track that I went down, I would definitely also assume like, I see photography all the time. Like anyone can do photography, so I don't want to be the person that's doing photography.
Yeah.
But was it something that worked out like you just were getting more requests for it and so you had to start doing it more, or was it like something that you were like, I'm gonna try this?
No, so I would do it. Like I take pictures of my daughter and stuff like that. But it actually started more because a friend of mine was like, I want pictures of my kids for holiday cards. Can you do it? I was like, sure, whatever. Like, I'll do it. And I did it. It was fine. It wasn't great. And then I coached my daughter's soccer team, like I said, and I've been coaching her team since they were 4 years old. And I wanted to do like epic, like pro athlete sports photos for them. And I was like, all right, let's figure this out. So I did it for them. It was fine. It wasn't great.
They're
And
children. I mean, it's hard to have like that
Yeah.
menacing kind of.
yeah, like it was fine. They looked super cute, like it was awesome,
Aw.
but it just wasn't, it was fine. And then I did it again the next year, and someone saw it, and they were like, "Hey, I want photos like that." And then the next person saw it, and then the next person saw it, and it all grew organically. It was strictly me trying new things, testing it with friends and people, and then it's all I literally for Posey Pro, I do no marketing at all. It's all word of mouth, and it's been great. Yeah, like I said, I wasn't gonna do it, and it just kind of blew up from there. And like we do so many photo jobs now, like constantly, and it's a lot of it's sports now too. Like a lot of it's sports photography with smoke and fire and all that stuff, which is cool. For like little kids, which is great.
I
Yeah.
really love that because I think it's really fun to like kind of accidentally fall into a niche sometimes, like that just works out because of word of mouth, but it's something that you learned a lot from. Like that is something that is so cool that also happens in marketing a lot. I think it's like spontaneity of it.
Oh my God, it's my entire life. Like I've not, when people be like, "What, like, do you plan this? You tried this?" I was like, "No." Like I
No.
literally, I just fell into marketing. I fell into social. I fell into events. Like I never. People always like ask me, like, "You want to be an event planner?" I was like, "Nope, didn't want to be an event planner." I just was like, "All right, I'm gonna do this, and this is what I think is cool at the time." And I just tried it. Like it was just I remember I brought Questlove to Thomas Jefferson University for a book he had, a Creative Quest. And people were like, why did you do this? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, this is gonna be cool. I'm gonna bring it. We're gonna do this. This is how it's gonna tailor to doctors, and we're gonna have them think in a different way. And it worked out. It was great. It was just like, I think to the point we talked about before, to bring it home, it was like, yes, there's fear in trying something new or something that's different or something that you haven't done before. But like, if you have an idea and you believe in it and you trust yourself to be like, all right, I'm going to be able to execute this. I'm going to be able to try it. And you're cool with failing, then why not give it a go? Like, I think people get embarrassed by something not working or by trying something or be scared of something they've never tried before. But like, what do you have to lose? Like, I would much rather fail at something I tried and it absolutely suck and bomb and just be horrible, but at least I tried, then die at whatever age I'm going to die at and be like, I really wish I would have played the guitar or done this event or tried photography or done a totally different career. Like I would much rather have tried and failed miserably than not tried at all. So that's how I view everything.
I think that is a wonderfully wholesome note to end on because we just got over time. But I literally think that was a perfect note to end on. Like you ended on an inspirational quote. So,
Yeah.
but thank you so much. I truly think that I love your optimism, and I also think that it is like so wonderful to be able to see someone do so many different things successfully. Like obviously there must have been failures on the way, of course, like everyone does, but I think that like your passion for being able to just try everything, I think is really contagious. That's the word I'm looking for. So I really appreciate you sharing this.
Of course, yeah. If you're not gonna try, like, just try. What harm could it be?
Yeah, unless you're gonna get fired. I think people are afraid of getting fired if they're not their own boss.
They are scared of being fired. But I think like, yeah, you can always try. You can always get another job. Like,
just so true.
Just try.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't end on that.
No, maybe we should end on that. But you said it's true.
But the angry emails.
Why live with so much fear? Like it's so in your head and it's so sad when, again, just do it. It's not gonna hurt you. Nothing's gonna hurt.
Just let fear like get in the way of you doing something that might make you happy or might be like something really.
And it could totally suck and you could be horrible at it and then you gotta practice. But then you just move on to the next thing. Like it doesn't matter. Who cares? Just do it.
Yeah, it's like you have to learn from your failures, but focusing on them too much is at a detriment to you as well.
100%. You always learn from those things. And the more experiences you have, the more things you have to pull from. So if you don't have experiences, you have nothing to pull from. So you have to do those things so that you can grow as a person, whether it's AI, whatever it's like you mentioned, it's different marketing tools, it's whatever it is. You have to have those experiences because, again, you have nothing to pull from ever. And you have to be aware of all those things too. Walking in Philly, there's so much inspiration around. Walk around without your phone, look around, look at the architecture, look at the trees, look at the parks. There's so many different things. you don't know if you're going to pull from that experience today, tomorrow, a week from now, 10 years from now, but you still have to have it in order to pull from it. So just try something new and go a different way home, anything. Just try stuff.
I 100% agree, and I really appreciate you sharing that. And I'm happy that we were ending on an inspirational note. Sometimes
Yes.
it doesn't happen, and then we're all sad.
Yeah.
but no, thank you so much. I'm happy to have a Philly lover on the podcast. I think it's so nice to be able to talk about Philly anytime. But I also am really happy to share your inspirational mindset to our audience. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. I hope that you were inspired by this podcast and that, you're able to, jump into things that you were afraid to try before this.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.